Hello everybody, this is Phoenix Cindy, and well, I finally am here with another Lizargon devlog. I said that I wouldn't make a devlog until I finished the elemental abilities, so guess what? I finished all 4 elemental abilities. I am really excited, really proud, and I think the hardest part of programming for Lizargon has been complete, which is the movement, because I want the movement to be really good. So, the elemental abilities, I should probably explain what they are, first of all. What I am planning for Lizargon is to have 4 abilities that the player can gain throughout the adventure, or throughout the game. The 4 being the elemental abilities, the Golem's Grasp, the Serpent's Strings, the Griffin's Glide Suit, and the Dragon's Dash, each representing the 4 elements of Earth, Water, Air, and Fire, the usual ones. So, the Golem's Grasp is the elemental ability of Earth. It allows you to grab onto walls and to be able to climb up and down them, and also be able to climb them at a rapid pace by sort of jumping up them, sort of a speed grasp as I call it. This allows you to conserve momentum and then be able to recharge your Dragon's Dash, which I will explain later. Then the Serpent Strings, those are the ones that represent water. These are more of a grappling hook, grappling rope as you could call it. They allow you to shoot your string in one of 8 directions, and all 8 directions, up, down, left, right, and all the diagonals. And if there is a wall, or when I implement them an enemy, right there, you will be able to grapple onto them and pull yourself towards them to attack them, or to use the wall to do whatever maneuver you want to do next. Then the Griffin's Glide Suit is the one that represents air, and this one is sort of the most simplistic. It allows you just to fall slower to the ground. So if you're going down really fast and you want to stop your downward speed, you can use the Griffin's Glide Suit, or if you need to cover a very large gap, you can use the glide suit to fall slower and therefore reach the other side of the gap. Pretty nice, pretty easy. Then the Dragon's Dash is just a simple dash in one of 8 directions, though this one, it takes into consideration your speed. So for example, if you're moving really fast to the right, and you do a diagonal upright dash, it will not change your velocity to a perfect diagonal. Instead, it will just add on to your already right speed, if that makes sense. So it isn't really more of an accurate thing like the Serpent Strings, it is just more of a boost, as I could call it. Then that can be recovered when you touch the ground, or when you grab onto something with the Golem's Grasp. So these mechanics, these elemental abilities are meant to be used together, along with all the rest of the mechanics of Lizargon. I want them all to be conjoined and used together throughout the game. So, for Lizargon, I don't really have planned to make an official beta 0.3.0. I haven't really planned on making levels for it. The reason why I made the levels for the beta 0.1.0 was to see if my mechanics actually worked, which surprisingly they didn't, and I had to redo the mechanics. And then the beta 0.2.0 was for a school presentation, because my school did the whole cast thing where I was able to actually work on my game for that. So there isn't really a need for a beta 0.3.0. If there is someone who wants a beta 0.3.0 to fool around with the mechanics that I've created for Lizargon, then I will gladly make one. But if no one wants a beta 0.3.0, I won't bother making it. So what is up next for Lizargon? What's up next, now that the hardest part, in my opinion, of Lizargon is done, which was programming all the movement mechanics, I'm going to move on to combat, to Lizargon's combat, and then finally to the art and the music, which is, the big thing that everyone seems to care about in games. So, the combat for Lizargon, it's going to be very simplistic. It's just going to be, you have a certain number of health points. I've been thinking 5, though it can probably change. And if you hit the attack button, it will attack in whatever direction you're pressing. Wow, incredible. But I also want it so that the power of your attack depends on your speed. So if you're just normal, or if you're going in the opposite direction that you're attacking, it will just be the default, attack, the default power. But if you're going really fast to the left, and you attack to the left, or to a left diagonal, it will deal a lot more damage. So I want the movement and the combat to be sort of used together, throughout the game. And then I've been also thinking, I don't know for sure though, but I might add a parry system where if you attack at just the perfect moment when the enemy is attacking, you will do a parry, which will stun the enemy, deal twice the amount of damage, and recover 1 health point. So if you're low on health, it's better to go a little slower to get those parries, and then continue on forward. Once again, I don't know if I'm going to add the parry system or not. It's just an idea. I will try, I'll test it out. If it turns out well, then I'll implement it. If not, then I'll just leave it in the dust. Alright, so that's the combat, what I have planned for Lizargon. The art, on screen, there should be a few sketches of, like, some enemies and, like, some stuff I've done of Lizargon, because I've had this idea for quite a while. I just haven't actually started making the game. And this sort of shows off my art style. I want to implement my unique art style to Lizargon. This is my game. I want it to be my art style. I'm not going to try to make any, I'm not going to try to copy any other art style. It's just going to be my own. And you can see that through the sketches and through the incomplete model that I should be showing on screen at the moment. This model is sort of the model of the Zargon race, as I'm going to call them. They're like the little lizard creatures that live in this village in the game. If you want to get into the lore, then you're going to have to wait, because I'm not going to explain it all. I'm just going to leave it for when I actually finish the game. But all you have to know is that these are lizard creatures. The Zargon that you play as will be the next upcoming, what they call the Lizargon, which will be the one that reunites the elements to bring back balance. And that one will have the dual swords used in the combat. So, the art, I've already showed off. Now for the music. If you haven't looked at the past videos on my YouTube channel, you may not know, but I actually sort of have done the music already for Lizargon. Remember, I was working on this for a school project, and I had this idea. The problem was that, one, I know nothing about music theory. I'm not in any music classes whatsoever, and confession, I despise piano lessons. And second, I was using a music creation program that isn't that great. It's good for beginners and for learning, but after that, it doesn't really work. So what I've been doing throughout all these devlogs is that I've actually been remaking the music. Now, the reason why I haven't really sent this out in the public or anything is because I was testing out a new music making program, GarageBand, and I wanted to see if that would work for what music I had in mind for Lizargon. And the test for that was to create the first few songs and create the first boss song, which I did, and they turned out successful. The GarageBand is powerful enough of a program to create the music that I want to make. Therefore, I actually right now have 5 songs that I have completed for Lizargon, and I'm really excited. I actually have a powerful enough music program and enough experience of creating music to create the music that I want for Lizargon. So here are the 5. So if you want to hear the full versions of them, I've been juggling around either releasing every song after I complete them, as I did with the old music, or if I should wait until all of it is complete and just release it all at once. So I would like that question answered. Do you want to listen to every single song once I finish them? Or do you want to just wait until the whole thing is done and then I release it all at once? I'll decide. I will decide, but I do want your opinion. So that is pretty much what's up next for Lizargon. So I'm just going to conclude because this is quite a long devlog. This is probably the longest I've done. So, elemental abilities are done. Golem's Grasp, Serpent Strings, Griffin's Glide Suit, Dragon's Dash. One allows you to grab onto walls. One allows you to sort of do a grappling hook. One allows you to glide. One allows you to dash. What's up next is a beta 0.3.0 if people want a beta 0.3.0. I'm not planning on making one, but if you guys want it, then I will gladly create levels for a beta 0.3.0. And what I'm going to work on next is the combat, the art, and the music. If you want to listen to the music, to the full 5 songs that I've done, plus any other songs that I finish, tell me. If you want to wait until the whole thing is done, also tell me that. So yeah, I don't know what to say next, other than, goodbye, I guess. I'll wait for the next devlog. Hopefully the next devlog I'll have a lot more progress, since the hardest part is done. Now it's just sort of starting to put it all together slowly and steadily. Alright, goodbye.